What's up out there? I have been spending a lot of time with my Caustic Arrow build. I am at level 87 right now, and I'll run through the gearing and the skills that I have set up right now. I don't know if this is any good, bad, or indifferent. I'll walk you through what my thinking is on some of the choices that I've made and what I've kind of gotten to. Like I said, I don't know if it's any good or not. I'm going to run a tier 15 Cold River map that's slightly rolled a little bit here. We'll see how this goes. I've been pushing into red maps a little bit with this. We are now, basically, I'm missing one map. I'm missing this Malkoon map here. So I've got to get that one done. But otherwise, I've got everything. And what I've been doing to get that accomplished was running this build on tier 6, 7, 8 maps, something like that. Just generating Kirok missions, and then whatever Kirok missions I had up here for, say, the red maps or the yellow maps, if I could run one that was a map that I needed to run, I was running it. So basically, I was leveling this up, generating Kirok missions, and then following up with my Exsanguinate build to go clear out stuff as I could. So I haven't really pushed this build. I've got a little bit of XP on here. It'd be nice not to lose it, but if I die, I die. I have not actually pushed it. So let's dive into the build here. We have regular Caustic Arrow. One of the things that I found is supposed to bring Caustic Arrow up is +2 to the gem, or plus to the gem. So right now, this gem is level 21 because I've got +2 to level socketed bow gems on here. There's another one, another +1 you can get off if you roll the bow correctly. I don't have enough to roll it, but I've also got damage over time multiplier. I'm also reading that critical strike may not be as important on this, so I need to go back through and recheck some things. It's on this bow. I can't really get rid of it like manually or whatever, so it's there. I've also got chaos damage over time multiplier. So with Caustic Arrow, I'm running Vicious Projectiles, Mirage Archer support, Void Manipulation, and Decay support. I have not figured out what my other socket will be, but it's potentially going to be Cruelty. So I do have a 6-socket bow, but this is a far worse bow. So like if I look at this one, it gets 29,758 chaos DPS. If I go over to this one, this is 41,000. So I deal significantly more damage with this bow. Now, I'm also running Clarity, Precision, Grace, and Blood Rage. I popped in Blood Rage. It's supposed to grant you frenzy charges and everything, and those are supposed to help out with damage and all that. Again, I'm not exactly sure how all this works. I'm still kind of new to the whole figuring how these builds work out. So I'm tinkering with that. I put that in here myself, trying to figure out how I could get more damage, get more speed, stuff like that. So I'm working that one into here. Now, this is, let's see, I'll go on with the automation. With automation, I'm running Phase Run, Steel Skin, and Withering Step. Now, this was actually on the original build that I was following for Toxic Rain. So the Toxic Rain with chaos damage and all that looks fairly similar to Caustic Arrow as far as what the passive tree looks like. I haven't really found somebody doing this specific build. They're doing all kind of other builds with Pathfinder or Occultist or something like that. Like there's other combinations, not really this with the Deadeye. So I'm also running this Ming's Heart, which has a bunch of chaos resistance and extra fizz damage is chaos, so I'm hoping that's bumping my damage up a little bit. I've got a Vile Arrow Quiver, which I think you can get plus gem levels on these things, but this one I'm just using for the extra chaos damage. And then I'm trying this out in my helmet. So I've got Frenzy, Mana Forged Arrows. So the Mana Forged Arrows is supposed to kick off the Frenzy and the Ensnaring Arrow. So we've got Frenzy here, Frenzy and Ensnaring Arrow, and then Culling Strike support. So this adds, anything 10% life or below, it's going to just try to kill. So I'm trying this out. This gets rid of the Flame Dash and the other, I don't want to say Decay. There was another gem I was using. I don't remember which one it is now, but it was for Chaos, God, whatever that was. Curse. It was a curse that would make the damage, like a vulnerability or something like that. I don't remember which one it was now. I kicked that off. And I moved my Blood Rage over to here. So I had to redo some of this stuff to get things fit in. And I'm running this setup here, just trying it out. And then, so we're dueling up on Caustic Arrow. Now, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. I am just trying it. The build that I was looking at was running I believe two Toxic Rain. So it was like Toxic Rain of Withering or something like that. If I put a second Caustic Arrow in here, my thinking is I'm scaling everything up based on this. And this might be why they use Toxic Rain. At least for that, this was coming off of that poison build I tried last league. I kind of like the combination of two different skills, but I'm not exactly sure how they fit together. So I thought, what the hell? I'll throw Caustic Arrow on here. So this actually does more Chaos DPS with this. I don't know if the pools combine. Maybe that's why they had two different skills, is that you can't overlap the pools. I'm not sure how that works exactly. They do work because you can see that there is purple and green. I've got one microtransaction assigned. I don't have one assigned to the green, but I've got this purple microtransaction assigned there. So they are kicking off damage. Now, maybe they're both not working at the same time, but they do appear to be, they don't necessarily stack on top of each other. They may go around in a circle like that, so it may just expand the area. I'm not sure. It's just something I'm trying. So I've got Vol Caustic Arrow on here, which lights this up down here to use every once in a while, which gives a little bit more DPS on here, 40,000 if I can get that one on there, but it doesn't show up that often. We're doing Added Chaos, Life Tap, Mana Forged Arrows, and Void Manipulation. So we're going to try that out on the passive tree. Now, this was basically following the Toxic Rain build that I had. So we've got this Wasting Notable, or whichever one that is. We got Wasting on here with Chaos Damage over time multiplier with a little bit of Chaos Res. This one deals 10% more Chaos damage to enemies with Energy Shield, less damage from damage over time, but then we've got 10% to damage over time multiplier. Oh, this one, 50% less damage over time if you're started taking damage over time in the past second. There's some more just damage over time negation. But then we've got Atrophy over here, which is 27% increased chaos damage with all the little damage over time multipliers that are on it. What I've changed off of this, it was supposed to come over here and do some other things with spell suppression or something like that. What I've changed with this was to come off of here and take this increased damage with bows, increased damage over time with bow skills, which is, there's one here, then there's one here, which then this leads over to Aspect of the Lynx, which gives you 20% increased attack damage, 5% movement speed, and some critical strike, which I don't think we care about critical strike. The other thing I've taken is over here with increased damage with bows, damage over time with bows, attack speed, attack speed, attack speed, and then finally bow attack fires an additional arrow, which you will see that when this fires 4 shots instead of 3 shots. There is an opportunity over here to take multi-shot, which I think will give you 5, and we'll try that out. You can also see, every once in a while, you'll see down here, these do proc off. So once you've got enough mana spent, it will kick everything off. So let's go run this and see how this goes. I can't tell you this is going to be anything good. We may die. This may end fast. I don't know. What did I run? Tier 16, 15? I think I ran 15 because I have enough 15s. But as far as damage goes, like, it's kicking out some damage. I'm still leveling up some of my gems. So got a lot to go because the 4 that I equipped, the 4 in the helmet, those are the newest ones that I've got on. And they are very early on, but you can see the ensnaring coming off of there. I put a microtransaction on the frenzy, or the ensnaring arrow, and I think I put one on frenzy. So I can actually see when those things kick off. And you can actually, and that's also why I've left them on my toolbar down there, so I can see what they're doing and see if they actually kick off. Because I wasn't sure if Mana Forged Arrows was going to turn those on or not or whatever. But it turns out they do. So the way I've been leveling this is basically running just easy maps. I'll take, what am I, level 87? So I'd pick like a map with level 77, 76 monsters, something like that. and then run it as just a blue map, magic, nothing fancy, nothing exciting, just trying to be as bland as humanly possible. I wasn't running, yeah, see there, we just insta death. But I was trying to avoid stuff like that so I wouldn't die. See, I lost a huge chunk of XP there. But just trying to avoid constantly dying and stuff, because that's the biggest problem you have for XP generation, is just dying. And I wasn't pushing content very much at all. That's why I'm kind of just curious how this build works out now. I can't spacebar over anywhere, unfortunately. But stuff dies. I mean, it's not too bad. It seems okay. I don't have a curse. I can toss this thing out and do a little bit more damage. And if I can, and my life sucks. My life is terribly low on this. But with the phase run and keeping things moving, you can actually kind of outpace some of this. Oh, I don't have a hex. Plus, I got these things locked down with that tethering. So they move a little bit slower. They take a little bit more projectile damage. So they're going to take a little bit more damage with the initial shot. But what I really need is the degen coming in underneath them and doing a lot of damage. Which it kind of does. I don't know. This is a lot slower battle. The single target is not great at all. Like, this is kind of what I get. But, like, I'm not dying right now. I died to that Nova that kicked off, I think. But, yeah, there we go. Problem solved. Thing's dead. So it's a little slow on single target stuff, but it's actually not bad on when we get a pack. Like, I can walk around the pack as long as I can stay healthy and don't get hit. That's the big thing. Doing it on a lot less monsters, easier monsters, you kind of walk through the pack. These things kind of hit. Like I said, I've really not been pushing things. Trying to get that before in case I die. I want to grab that. I haven't got an annulment yet. It'd be nice to have to run on something. Yeah, see. So there is some death in there. It's definitely not the most survivable, but we could say run a tier 9 map. This will be what I normally run. Just like a tier 9, trying to level up. If I push content, I die, and I don't want to be frustrated, and I don't want to be dying constantly and losing all my XP and being frustrated, and it's just a big vicious cycle. So if I can kill stuff and stay reasonably alive, you know, dying once in a while is not a big deal. But dying constantly, it just gets old, and it's like, all right, I'm kind of done with that. I'm also been not necessarily looting as much. I'm running my higher level filter, so I'm avoiding a lot of things, and just focusing on run map. If die, start new map. You know, and like being really harsh about the maps. If I die one time, unless I'm at the very end and have a lot to loot or something like that or whatever, I've just been calling it and moving on. I have not been going back and beating my head against maps and just running new ones. I'm running on my Atlas tree for Kirok missions and stuff like that. That's what I've been focused on, trying to keep the number of maps I get built up, Kirok missions built up, that kind of thing. I've been just really trying to play it a little bit safer, taking a little less. Yeah, see, I can't get out of those things now because I don't have Flame Dash. But I've really been trying to play this much more safely and level up, just to not die, which is what it is. I mean, with the movement speed, this isn't bad, staying away from things, and I don't necessarily think I need Flame Dash, but then there's the occasion when I'm stuck in an ice cage or something and I can't get out of. Where'd that thing go? Did it die? Must have died. Or there's a gap I need to jump or something, so I might get Flame Dash back in here somehow, because I don't know that I really like the idea of not having it. I think that might not be a good idea. But, like, this build is doing fairly well. It seems to be... Yeah, see, I can't dash around, but there's the boss. Nope, there's the boss. Boss is still alive. Boss is definitely still alive. Definitely not doing a lot of damage to this thing. I mean, the one good thing is you can kind of jet off and be gone and not have to deal with it. Go get recover health or something if you need to. But like the single target's just terrible on this. Yeah. So if we go back to town, I'm going to switch over to my Exsanguinate build just for a comparison. And here we have Exsanguinate. We are level 91. Oh. These things are kind of a pain in the ass, but there we go, problem solved. I don't know if I have any of that picked up yet. We are level 91 on this while we're sitting on this build. I have been doing a lot of the mapping portion of this with this build. I'll unlock a Kirok mission with the Caustic Arrow and then switch over to this one and do the map. Now I've got just a tier 6 map left to go, so I need to make sure I have some of the what are those things called? The scouting reports. I need to make sure and keep getting those. I've been burning every one of them that I get. But this is my mapping setup. It's basically the bossing setup, but I've gone all the way around the circle here, picked up pretty much everything that Kirok has. Like the first thing I did was sent this all to bossing, and then I've slowly added as I get new maps nodes up on here. I've added all of them up around the Kirok stuff, extra chance for maps, that kind of thing. Well, this was already on there, but I kind of came up to this where you get one tier higher. I figured I would leave this, and one of the coolest things I like about this whole league that we've got is that we've got 3 different Atlas trees. This has saved me so many unmakings. It's incredible, because I would kind of get bored with the way one map was, and I'd want to change something. This one, anytime I want to go mess with bossing, at this point, I'm fairly well. What do we got here? 61%. I'm going to try to get another level on this before I do anything. I did kill the Phoenix, but unfortunately I didn't get it Maven Witness because it was a Kirok mission that I did it on, but I did kill the Phoenix, so I do have one little chunk of that. It was a bit rough with this build. I've got that thing there, the fragment for him. It was definitely rough. Like, it was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. Well, actually, it was tough last league with the Juggernaut, or the I don't remember if I did that with the Bone Shatter Jug or Bone Shatter Slayer, but that was a tough fight last league, and he throws all the fire and stuff. I just randomly died to the little phoenixes that were out. But at any rate, this is my bossing setup. I have not really used this Einhar one with essences and stuff like that. I was going to come back into lower tier maps with my Exsanguinate build. I've got a whole bunch of points left to put in here, and I really don't know where to put them yet. And then we've got my Expedition and Betrayal one. I have not gotten back to this one either. This one I wanted to finish off my Expedition, all my unveils and stuff. I've got a lot of unveils done. But I got a lot of unveils left to go. We do need to jump back over to my Deadeye build for a second, my Caustic Arrow. So the final thing on this build here is I did go through... I tried to do the 4th lab run, and I died right... I always die right at the very last second. But I did try to do one, and I ended up dying. But I don't think I want Far Shot. I think I've decided what I want to pick. I don't think I want Far Shot. Rupturing is for bleeding, so I don't want that. I don't really want Focal Point, and Windward is too far away. I tried this Occupying Force with Mirage Archers are not attached to you. I didn't like this. I regret orbed off of it and basically took this projectile damage and Mirage Archer duration. I took both of these nodes. That's 20% extra with 20% extra projectile damage with 30% Mirage Archer duration. So I thought that was a better choice. I'm kind of thinking about taking, there's projectile damage and speed, which is 10% for both here and here. I'm kind of thinking about taking those as opposed to taking 5% increased attack speed and 10% increased project. Maybe I want that one. No, because these are 10 and 10, and that's just 5 and 10. The reason I would come over here is to take Gathering Winds, which gives you Tailwind or whatever, faster movement speed. I think I've got decent enough movement speed now. I don't even have a Quicksilver Flask on right now. This moves fairly quickly. Like, it's quick enough that if I click the wrong thing, it moves me far enough out. So like if I'm in my stash and I accidentally click outside, I'm over halfway across the screen before I realize where I'm at. So I don't really think I need movement speed. it just, if I have a little bit more movement speed, I can tell, but at some point it's just, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. You know what I mean? I like the fact that I don't have to drop totems all the time. I can't stand dropping totems. That's kind of annoying. Unless it's the build style that you're going for. When you've got all this speed, the last thing you want to do is have to stop, drop totems, wait for it all to kick off and do something, shoot something up in the air. Like, you want to be able to move around, shoot. And I like this so much better. When I'm on lower level maps, lower tier maps, like if I go run this thing here, I can basically run through crowds for the most part. If we go just blast away through here, I can drop it. And now this is a lot lower tier maps, obviously, so it's much easier to demonstrate, but you can just walk through this stuff and just straight up blast through here. My tier 6 and 7 and 8 map experience is kind of like this. Unless I get some really thick uniques or something in here, I'm just cruising along, killing everything along the way. It's not bad. And stuff just dies off in the distance because of all the degen that's going on behind it and everything. So this is kind of what the experience that I get on a little bit higher tier map. I should have ran maybe a little bit higher one, but like I said, this is doing really well the way it is. I'm not necessarily sure that double caustic arrow is like the way to go, or if that's a good, bad, or indifferent idea. I don't really know. I'm just trying it out. It seems like it's throwing out caustic arrow in multiple different directions, or it's piling up in, one. I also thought about trying to find something that concentrates the effect or else spreads it out. I'm not sure if I want concentrated effect or like wider area damage. I was thinking about looking on my passive tree for wider area damage. I've got, if I go to level 95, I've got 8 more points I can put in reasonably. So that's what I have to work with. I'm not really sure what else to put points in at the moment. Back to town here. I thought about coming over to grab this node here for overcharge. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be 5 points right there. So we get more power frenzy, and basically frenzy charges is what I'd be looking for. There's also some frenzy stuff right here. +1 to max frenzy charges and a little bit in evasion for that for another couple of points. I might come over there. I've also got this option here for firing another projectile. More projectiles would add more spots for the degen, I guess. I did have greater multiple projectile in here, but apparently the damage you do with like the hit directly affects what you get on the ground. So this green on the ground is affected by how much you hit, and greater multiple projectile reduces the hit down, so it effectively reduces your caustic arrow as well. So I don't know. Like I said, we'll see how this thing goes. I don't know that I'll be pushing really super hard content with it. Mainly, I wanted this to be a second build, so if I can go generate maps, generate currency, just stuff like that. I've got some more levels to go. I've got a lot better gear I can get. Like, I started putting implicits on this stuff. I don't even know I don't think I have any more. Yeah, I got a little bit of currency I can throw some stuff on here, but like chance to poison on hit, I don't even want that, but I that's all I had was one eater, whatever this is, ember to put on there, or whatever, eldritch currency. So this one has increased attack damage and cast speed. This would be far better for my exsanguinate build. This one's got a little bit of Eli-res and increased chaos damage, so this one's actually useful. But then these other ones are kind of whatever. Yeah, we could swap this out right now, change that over from cast speed to Despair. Despair, that's the one, and that would probably be what I'd put back in. The only downside to swapping stuff out is I have to come back over here to a ring with strength on it and pull that back on so that I can equip that. The fun of not having enough strength. Let's try and drop one on here. +1 to max fire res. What's the problem? Strength. Throw that over there. Like I'm totally juggling everything on here. But anyway, that's where my Caustic Arrow build is currently, in case you were wondering how that's worked out. I'm enjoying it. It's a fun build to play. I don't have to drop totems. I don't have to deal with Toxic Rain. I do have the option of swapping this out to Toxic Rain. I'd have to switch some things out socket color-wise. But like I said, I'm going to try this Caustic Arrow. This actually is higher damage output than what the Toxic Rain was in the same socket with its more useful, whatever it was for that. I don't know. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.